Republicans are doing Joe Biden's work for him. Is that so, Washington Post? What kind of person wrote an article like this? Come on, spare me. Jennifer Rubin. Bravo. You guys know Jennifer Rubin? She is the conservative that agrees with every Democrat and constantly just writes about how Trump is losing. And it is such an obvious grift, man. You know, they tried to call me a grifter because I recently said I was voting for Trump, I guess, or because I don't like Democrats. I've never been in politics. I'm not a political person. I wasn't a staunch Democrat marching around waving a Democrat flag and then one day saying, oh, look, I can say Trump and make money. It's never been the case. I was always very libertarian on many issues, and I was defending the right of protesters during Occupy and criticizing Antifa during Occupy. We called them Black Bloc. My opinions say the same. The only people who are calling them out now, it's Trump and the Republicans. Surprise, surprise. But let me tell you something. When Jennifer Rubin says the Republicans are doing Joe Biden's work for him, I have to say you got this one wrong. Joe Biden is doing Republicans' work for them. Don't believe me? I love it. Biden says majority of Americans who say they are better off probably shouldn't vote for him. Okay, Joe, are you kidding? This is not the first time Joe Biden has told people not to vote for him. Is he even trying to win? Oh, Joe. Joe. From the Daily Caller, Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden said Monday that Americans who feel they are better off today under President Donald Trump than they were 4 years ago under former President Barack Obama shouldn't vote for Biden. During a campaign stop in Cincinnati, Ohio, WKRC Local 12 reporter Kyle Inskeep asked Biden. Gallup reported last week 56% of Americans said they were better off today than they were 4 years ago. That would have been under the Obama-Biden administration. So why should people who feel that they are better off today under the Trump administration vote for you? Well, if they think that, they probably shouldn't, Biden. Come on. Biden, are you trying to win? Biden incorrectly repeated the percentage in the poll and suggested Americans have faulty memories. They think 54% of the American people believe they're better off economically today than they were under our administration. Well, their memory is not very good, quite frankly, Biden said. He goes on to insult them. Dude, Jim Cramer, best numbers of our lives. We know that the Donald Trump economy was great. What kind of weird parallel universe did Joe Biden live in? I'm going to be honest. Retirement. Yeah. Joe Biden lived in retirement. He was out. He was done. Why is he running today? Honestly, I have no idea. But he's wrong. People today know the economy was really, really good. Right now, Donald Trump is polling better than Biden on economics. So for him to say they shouldn't vote for me and they have bad memories is just, I got to say, I'm impressed. Talk about trying to lose. I wonder if the Democrats are trying to lose, but to make it seem like they're trying to win. As a polling suggested that Americans were optimistic about the economy at that time. A December 2019 CNN survey revealed that 76% of those polled said the economy was either very or somewhat good. However, Biden is consistently leading in all polls leading up to the November 3rd presidential election. Trump is even trailing the former vice president in an Investor's Business Daily survey released Monday that indicated 51.9% of likely voters support for Biden and 43.4% for Trump. The remainder of respondents said they would be supporting a third-party candidate. The Investor's Business Daily firm was one of only two to correctly predict Trump's electoral victory in 2016. And I think Rasmussen has Trump down substantially as well, at least in approval. We can only wait and see. Now, I got to say, though, I kind of think, I feel like Trump's going to lose. I do. And I understand it goes back and forth. And a lot of people are like, oh, you said this last time. You said this time. Well, hear me out. Right now, Donald Trump's debate performance wasn't all that great. There are a lot of reasons to believe culturally that Trump will win. And it's scary to think that Biden will win. But I think you've got a lot of uninitiated people who are likely going to vote. However, that being said, I'm speaking to you on a very general basis. If you took all Democrats and all Republicans and put them in a voting booth, I think Trump would lose. That's not what's happening, though. Thanks to the likes of Jennifer Rubin or otherwise, they have royally screwed their own voter base. Like I said, trying to lose, but make it seem like they're trying to win. I bring you back to Jennifer Rubin of the Washington Post, saying the Republicans are doing the job for the Democrats. Here's what she says. The irony of President Trump's fear-mongering about mail-in ballots is that an unprecedented level of early voting appears to be underway. Close to 10 million ballots have already been cast for the presidential, Senate, House, and down ballot races. There has also been a huge turnout in Georgia, which is in a dead heat in the presidential and 2 Senate races. But herding voters to in-person voting during a pandemic is just one of the many errors the Trump campaign has made as it careens toward the end of arguably the worst-run presidential campaign since George McGovern's in 1972. And believe it or not, 538 is saying that they believe the greatest likelihood, the highest percentage outcome, not the greatest likelihood, but it's like 22%. I think they were saying this, is it's going to be like 430 electoral votes for Biden. That's their prediction. But Trump, McGovern? I don't know. I think the inverse is true. Let me tell you, Trump's fear-mongering about mail-in ballots was a good idea because the mail-in voters for Democrats are going to be disqualified. They're making mistakes. The margin of error is higher. You need to vote in person. Some people are microwaving their ballots. She says it is far from clear how much in-person campaigning Trump is doing in the coming weeks, but he is pulling ads down in key states and has walked away from the debate plan for Thursday. He is helping former Vice President Joe Biden, who has a double-digit national lead and comfortable leads in states that will get him beyond 270 electoral votes. Run out the clock. This is as close to a unilateral surrender, both of visibility and incumbency, as we have ever seen in a presidential race. Trump is in a defensive crouch, just as he needs to change the entire trajectory of the race. It is not hard to figure out how he got there. Trump gave up on negotiating a second COVID-19 stimulus plan. As a result, he is not doing the one thing that could demonstrate that he cares about the lives of Americans and takes the pandemic seriously. Well, Democrats try to argue Trump never wanted to be president. And based on what she's writing, she's got a good framing that Trump doesn't actually want to win. But she's missing a few key details. Trump didn't spend that much money on ads in 2016 either. And that's maybe one of the reasons they argue Trump didn't really want to win. I don't believe it. I mean, you watch Trump rally. He means it. He's saying it. Maybe he didn't think he was going to win. I don't know. But Trump was granted all of this free press. I think if Trump didn't want to win, he wouldn't be trying to win. And just because he's pulling down ads doesn't mean that. It could mean, well, to be honest, that Trump doesn't have a lot of money. I don't know if that's true, though. And I think what you're seeing here from Jennifer Rubin, to be completely fair, is her interpretation of the facts as she sees them. I often give mine. I think she's wrong. I think Joe Biden is actively telling people not to vote for him, and it's going to pay off. People aren't going to vote for him. I think Joe Biden is a crackpot old crony who is demented, and I can't imagine a scenario where he actually wins, because what would that mean for our country? President Kamala Harris. Maybe, actually, I'll take that back. Maybe that is the one scenario that makes sense. We had Nancy Pelosi prepare the 25th Amendment, allowing the removal of the president. And she said it wasn't for Trump. The election's coming up and Biden's going to win. It's for future presidents. Yeah, it's for Joe Biden. They're going to remove Joe Biden, and that'll be the end of it. Maybe that's the real plan. Not that they think they're going to, well, actually, they may be doing the 25th thing because they think they're going to lose and they want to retain powers of impeachment long after they lose control of the House. I don't know. I think there's a lot to criticize Jennifer Rubin over, but I'll tell you this. The left compares me similarly to Jennifer Rubin. I don't think that's fair, considering I was never a staunch Democrat. You know, she was a conservative columnist. Now she's just pro-Democrat. I was never pro-Democrat columnist. In fact, I laughed. I'm not going to vote for Obama or Hillary Clinton. I voted for Obama one time and then got angry about it. And I was like, I don't know. I was 18 or something. I was 20 years old, I think. So I don't necessarily fit that bill. But what I'll say is, I think you should read what she has to say. And I think I bring it up for a good reason. I disagree with it. And it's important to see what your opponents are talking about, because you might miss something. It is true. Trump is pulling down ads. Maybe that's a sign that Trump knows he's losing. He's going to save money. There's also stories coming out that the Senate is looking to dump money into, the Republicans are looking to dump money into the Senate, and wealthy donors are dumping their money into the Senate, not Trump, because they think Trump is going to lose. But you got to pay attention to what happened last time. Demoralization. There's one big difference between now and 2016. People hated Hillary Clinton and people hated Trump, but people hated Trump less than they hated Hillary Clinton. People don't care about Joe Biden. I think that's a Democrat play, obviously. Why is Joe Biden hiding? They don't care. They're not trying to sell you Joe Biden at all. They're not. They're trying to sell you hate Trump. So long as they hate Biden the least, They'll beat Trump because people are going to go out and they're going to vote for him just because they don't like Donald Trump. However, I talked to a lot of people recently, and it sounds like everyone's just saying they're voting for Trump. Moderates, independents. That's why I think, even though we're looking at all of this data that says he's going to lose, doesn't it feel like he's going to win? Isn't that weird? You have these polls where people say they will vote for Biden, but they think Trump will win. And so you have something like 56% of people saying they're voting for Biden, but 56% of people thinking Trump will win. It's like some weird numbers like this. Maybe Trump's going to win. It could be that these people who are giving these polls are just lying. They're saying, oh, I'm going to vote for Biden, but they're really not. Let me tell you something. Let me wrap this up. If Joe Biden keeps coming out and telling people not to vote for him, I'll take your word for it, Joe. You tell me not to vote for you, I won't. Look, I'm doing better than I was last year, in the past 4 years. I know a lot of people who are doing really, really well. I know a lot of people who are hurting because of COVID. We'll see how it plays out. I got a couple more segments coming up in a few minutes. Stick around, and I will see you all shortly.